What is going on? What's going on? Welcome to Trade Digital 89. This is my YouTube channel. Please click the subscribe button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Trade Digital 89. We're going to be learning coding. We're going to be talking about technology on this podcast. Podcast. I do a podcast too. The podcast will also be in a link. So make sure you click the podcast. But we'll be talking about technology. We'll be doing coding exercises. Um, I'll be talking about the course I'm teaching. We're going to be talking about all this on this Trade Digital 89 channel. So please subscribe to my channel today, and you're going to get the latest of the latest. And I'm going to be helping and teaching people how to code. Coding is becoming so important now. Not even in this country, all over the world. Jobs is hiring for people that have the knowledge and the capabilities of coding. So we're going to be teaching the number one coding language in the world is Python. So we're going to be teaching that, but we're going to be coding graphs in Python. Now, data science, I did a data science presentation and I explained how important it is to if you're getting in that industry to learn data science because you're going to be dealing with statistics, you're going to be analyzing graphs, analyzing data, manipulating data, predicting certain outcomes with the data. So we want to do the very basics of the analysis we're going to do with reading graphs and reading charts. And we're going to create it, but this is going to be strictly reading graphs and reading charts. So that's cool. Let's go to our script right now. In the text editor I will be using Atom. You can use whatever text editor you want, but if you feel more comfortable using the one I have, you can download Atom if you haven't done so already. So let me full screen this and we can begin to code. So so we have to import a few libraries. So the first thing oh, we're gonna import NumPy as MP. Now this is a library. If you looked at the previous data science presentation, you know how important NumPy is in data science and statistics, and also reading and manipulating data. You're going to use NumPy. It's going to get those calculations to be able to manipulate data, find the size of a chart, find the size of a pixel. You're going to use NumPy arrays. So just in case, we're going to import NumPy arrays. Import NumPy. So next thing we're going to import pandas as PD. Now, pandas is grabbing data for certain sites and turning the tables into a CSV file that could be also imported into an Excel spreadsheet. And we could also implement that spreadsheet and we can create a graph in Python and put that information and basically read the visual of that data inside of a graph. So we can also do that, which is a cool thing about data science. So we might get to that point to be able to grab data from certain sites. We're gonna see. We'll see if we have time. And then the next thing we're gonna do, we're going to import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. And now this library is strictly graphs. It's creating our graphs. So first thing we're gonna do plt.style.use, and then we're going to use the dark background. I like using dark backgrounds. Many backgrounds you can use. You can use classic, but I'm gonna use dark background because it looks cool. So the first thing we're doing a very basic beginning of implementing data and using it inside of our graph. So we're going to create a list called music underscore artists, and inside our list we're gonna add our artists. So we're gonna add Doja Cat, we're gonna add The Weeknd. Do we spell it like this? I think he spelled it like that. We're going to add Post Malone, and we're gonna add Coldplay. So those are our artists. We're going to add, and then it's going to be sales. So it's going to be let's do. Um, let's do album sales. Album sales, and it's going to equal to total album sales. So remember, for the music artist list, the album sales list, it have to be the same exact value. So we got four values here. We have to add four values to line up with those four values with artists, with music artists. So we're gonna do for Doja Cat, it's gonna be let's say 75,000. For the weekend, it's gonna be 400,000. There's 400,000. Yep. Post Malone is going to be 37,000. And Coldplay, let's make it 475,000. Not being biased anything, it's just I'm doing random numbers. Somebody probably say Post Malone too low. It's not. I'm not being biased. I'm just I'm just adding data randomly. So so the next thing we're going to do, we applied our list, we created our list. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to put PLT dot. Let's do a bar graph. PLT dot bar. Now the bar graph, we're going to add our artist. So we're going to do music artist, and then the music artist is going to be on the x-axis. So it's going to be on the It's going to be the bottom layer. The album sales is going to be on the y-axis, so it's going to be the vertical layer. It's going to be on the vertical label, so it's going to be on the side. It's going to be on the left side of our graph. So it's going to be album sales right there, and then we'll add color to equal to, let's make it green, money green, and then that'll be it. And then we can do PLT dot. We can do X label. We can add some labels to it. So on that side of it, the X label will be for artists. PLT dot Y label will be for sales. And then we can add a title to it. You can put PLT dot title, and then you give it a title: top music artist sales. And then you're gonna do PLT dot show. So show just shows the graph. So labels is the labels we added for the X label, and the Y label. The title is the title on the top. So information we have so far is going to be a black graph we created with the PLT.style use. Then we create a list: Doja Cat, The Weeknd, Post Malone, and Coldplay. And then the album sales is going to be connected to each artist based on its position. So Doja Cat going to represent 75,000. The Weeknd's going to represent 400,000. Post Malone going to represent 37,000. Coldplay is going to represent 475,000. So now when we display this graph, all right, so now let me stop sharing, and then let me go to share my screen. Let me put this here to share my screen, and we can pull that up. Now this is our graph right here. So you see the information that we inputted inside our graph. So we create our list. Our list with the artists would be Doja Cat, The Weeknd, Post Malone, Coldplay. And remember, the values have to be the same values. So we had to add cells. So the cells for Doja Cat will be lined up with the same position. So that would be for Doja Cat, Doja Cat would be lined up with 75,000. The Weeknd would be, you see, the Weeknd would be lined up with 400,000. Post Malone is the lowest, so he would be lined up with 37,000, and Coldplay is the highest. Coldplay would be lined up with 475,000. He's the highest. So this is how you can be able to analyze statistical data inside of a graph. So you can use different versions of a graph. You can use a bar graph, you can use a line graph, you can use a pie graph. So now let's go back to the code. Now we could display it in a line graph. So the line graph will be a lot different than a bar graph, of course. So we want to do a line graph. All we can do is we can keep everything how it is, but we're going to do plot. So for the line graph, it's going to be plot. So PLT dot plot. We could keep money green. We could add a marker to it because the marker is going to allow us to know where the artist cells lined up. So because if we do a line, it's just going to show the line hitting at the X and the Y axis. But we add a point to it, we'll see every time the line points at which artist cells it's pointing at. So let me run this. So you just if you want to add it a different bar graph. So let me stop sharing, share that part of it of the line graph. Oh, hold up 1 second. And share that part of the line graph. Oh, why don't I got the line graph? All right, so let me X this out. Let me exit the bar graph out. Let me put this up. And we're gonna share this. Now you see the line graph right here. And you see the pinpoint where the point for the marker. You see where the point is at right here. Let me display it like this. So you see what the point is at right here. So the point is lined up with the artist cells. So Doja Cat was 75,000, so she's a little under 100,000 cells. The Weeknd would be next. So you see the Weeknd is lined up here. So the x-axis is lined up there. And look in the bottom. Look in the bottom right. You see X equals the Weeknd. So the axis equals the Weeknd, and the Y axis is going to equal where the Weeknd is at. So if we go to this point, and you see where the Weeknd is at. So the Weeknd is at 400,000 album sales. Then we go to Post Malone. The Y, you see where the x-axis is located at. So Post Malone is right here, and Post Malone's album sales is under Doja Cat, so it's like 30,000, and then Coldplay is higher. Coldplay is at 475,000 right here, lined up with Coldplay. So that's our line graph that we can do. We can visualize our plot. Now I can stop sharing. Now we can do it also in a pie graph. And you remember, creating that pie chart in school. The pie chart is going to allow you to know which artists have the highest percentage inside their cells. Which artists have the highest percentage. So that's how the pie is going to calculate that statistical data. Who had the biggest piece of the pie with the total album sales within our list that we created. So let's go back to our script here. Our editor script. I said text. All right, so if we want to do that, another thing we're going to add C1 to equal to color. So each artist is going to represent a color. So Doja Cat is going to represent pink. Doja Cat going to represent pink. The Weeknd, I'll make the Weeknd black. He had that dark theme with his music. Post Malone, I have Post Malone represent green. And I have Coldplay to represent blue. All right. So now we could erase the labels. We don't need the labels really. Now we want to be able to add a pie chart. Pie chart would be a lot different. So we're going to put pie here. And now we have to do something different. Now, pie chart is not going to do the calculations for music artists. It's going to do the calculations for album sales. So we're going to put album sales first, and then we're going to have labels is going to equal to music artists. So the labels is going to equal to music artists. And now colors is plural, so we have colors, and then we could erase green is going to equal to C1, our C1 variable that we created for our list of colors. Now we can erase marker, and then we can add we can add a order percentage sign. So the percentage sign is gonna show the percentage of which artists have the biggest piece of the pie with the total top music artist sales, which is important so we can see, okay, not only we see, okay, somebody have the largest piece, but maybe the Weeknd Coldplay, they're close with album sales. So we can see a certain percentage of that pie chart. So we're gonna do ordo PCT, which is ordo percent sign. We're gonna have that equal to percent 1.1, and it's gonna be a floating number, F string, and then percentage. And then now we could be able to calculate our pie chart with this particular one. We could keep titles here, and we can add this now, so we could add our attributes for our pie chart. All right, maybe let me make this classic so it could be. Let me change this to classic because we made the Weeknd color black, so we're gonna make this classic. And let me run it so we can have a better description of the graph. See, it's still a little dark. All right, so let's make the Weeknd color gray. it'll be better gray, and then we'll take just a dark background because it's a dark color. So let me run it. Let me see. This was a little better. Okay, this is much better. All right, so let me show everyone this image. Let me show everyone this image of this particular graph. So let me share my screen. All right. So you see right here, you see the percentage sign. So this is a bar graph. So the bar graph is going to calculate the percentages. Now, if we didn't add these percentages, the order percent sign, it's gonna be hard to identify who had the biggest piece of the pie, the Weeknd, when it comes to top music artist sales. Would it be the Weeknd or Coldplay? So this floating percentage number allows us to see, okay, Coldplay have the biggest piece of the pie. The next one would be the Weeknd. The next one would be Doja Cat and Post Malone. So 48%, 48.1% of Coldplay have the total album sales out of the four. The next one will be the Weeknd, 40.5%. 40.5%. So it's extremely close. Doja Cat will only have 77.6% out of the list of music artists, and Post Malone had 3% of the pie. So we can stop sharing. So now we did a bar graph, we did a line graph, and then we did a pie graph. So now how could we put all these images of these graphs together? So now let's go back to our editor. And it's a way of doing all of that. So it's something called subplot. So subplot, you get to add multiple graphs in one figure. So what we'll do is we're going to do subplot, well, plt dot subplot, and then the subplot is going to represent which row we're going to put the graph on, which position we're going to put the graph on, and how many graphs you're going to have in that figure. So what we're going to do is it's going to be only one row. So it's going to be one row. We're going to have three graphs. So the total graphs you're going to have in this figure is going to be three. Now it's going to be the position that this graph is going to be, and it's going to be the first graph. So it's going to be position one. So that's going to be the first position. The next one, so the first graph is going to be a pie graph. So we can just name this pie graph. We can just name this pie graph. So next we could do plt dot subplot again. And how would you determine for the second one? So the second one will be row one. It will be 3 columns long, and the second one would be the second graph, it'll be a position 2. And then we'll do right here, we'll make this a bar graph. So we'll put plt.bar, and then we can add music artists, music artists. We can add album sales. We can add color to let's make this orange. So we added our color, and this would be plt.title. This would be still add oh, sorry about that. Bar graph. Bar graph. Now, the third one we're going to add for our line graph. So we're going to do plt.subplot, and then we're going to add one row. It'll be, this will be the third one. It'll be 3 graphs, and then it's going to be in the third position. And then we're going to do plt.plot. Then we're going to add music artists, of course. We're going to add album sales, of course. We're going to add color is going to equal to, let's make this one, what kind of color we could make this? We'll make this one, I'll make this one blue, cool blue color. We'll make this one blue, and we'll add a marker to it. We'll add a marker to it. So the marker will equal to, and then we'll add a circle there. So we'll do plt dot title, and this will be a line graph. So now we have 3 graphs in one figure. Now we can show it. So we can add a title for this, all these graphs. So we're going to plt dot subtitle. So subtitle is the title for all the graphs. So we're going to put top music artist sales right here. Oh, let me add a label to it. Do I need to add a label to it? Nah, I don't need to add a label. Let's just leave it like this. It's fine. Because we know how it's going to line up. So now when we run it, we should get all 3 of these graphs on one figure. And we can be able to display multiple graphs here. So now let me stop sharing so you can see the visual evidence of this graph. So now let me share it back. Let me post this here. Share this. And now you can see, so let me make sure y'all see the beautiful graphs here. All right, so you see the graphs. So we was able to apply 3 graphs in one figure. So you see right here, the first one is the pie graph. The second one is the bar graph. The third one is the line graph. So we're able to add all 3 graphs in one figure. So that's a cool thing we can have with importing this data. In Matplotlib, you can add multiple graphs in one figure. So that's one thing we can do. So now we can stop sharing that. And since we did that, that's the basics of plotting, just creating your own graphs in Python. Now, since we have a little bit more time, we can grab CSV files and pandas. Now, I already downloaded a CSV file. You can go to Basketball Reference, or you can go to NFL.com or soccer, or you can go to COVID data, and then you could be able to grab data or data for stocks as well. So now we're going to grab CSV files, and we're going to the data that we took from the website, and we turn to CSV file. We're going to also put it in a graph. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a variable called data, and then we're going to have data to equal to PD dot read underscore CSV. So it could be underscore CSV. Now I got CSV files right here. Let me see which one should I grab. Bitcoin data. Let me see which one I want to grab. I see LeBron's total high. Trying to see which one I want to grab for data. Player points, quarterback passing, COVID data. I can grab for COVID data. One sec, I could grab for COVID data. Let me see. Daily cases. I could grab for COVID data. So I'll grab some COVID data. So I'm going to copy the path here. We're going to go back to our text editor. This would be the COVID data. You could put CS. You could just put the name of in CSV, but I do it this way to make sure that my directory is fine. But I do the COVID data. But if it don't work, you can. If it don't work, you can also do it this way. So now since we got that, let me make sure. Let me print to see if this data, if it gives me this data. All right, so this day we might have to skip rows. So since this data, I could just skip rows and run. Let me just show you that. So you get an error like this. You could, what it says, parsing tokenizing data, expect one field line. It's something with the file. It's something with the CSV file. You can do it. You can edit it. You can edit it by just going to your Excel and then taking which row is corrupted or which row is empty or it's not working. Or you can just put skip 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 rows equals 3. You can do that. And it should skip that row and it should run that way, and then you can grab the data. And so you see it grabs the data right here. But I need the row name though. So I'm not going to use this file here. I'm not going to use this file here. So let me look for another file. Let me grab, which one is this one? This might be for the players, cuz I like to analyze data. I like to analyze data from, I wasn't even sharing my part of the screen. Hold on, let me share. I wasn't even sharing it. Sorry about that. Why is my editor not sharing? All right, now let me do it. I thought I was sharing my screen the whole time. Sorry about that. All right, so let me share my editor. All right, so right here we have data equals pd.read CSV. Now we got to add our CSV file here. So I added players.csv. I'm not sure which one is this, but I'm going to take it. You could put you could just put players.csv and run, but I just want to make sure my directory is correct. So I'm just doing it this way. And now we're going to print data. So you have data that equals pd.read CSV. And then let me run that to make sure this is running properly. We got our statistical data and we got it. So we have our statistical data right here for players, right here. So team ID, seasons. So we have that. Let me see. Let me see what else I was trying to do here. All right, so now we can do. I want a better CSV file here. Let me get a better one because it has just the player IDs. Let me get a better CSV file here. What's this weekly? COVID tracking, NFL teams. All right, let me just do NFL teams. Maybe this would be better data. So let me take this out for NFL teams. Let me see if I have some better data here that we can import in our graph. Let me run it. All right, so we got, all right, so let's just use this. So this is our data that we have for our teams right here. But the thing is, we're going to need, this is probably not what I want either. Yeah, this is not probably what I want either. I'm trying to find like not just labels. I'm trying to find statistical data with statistics as well. I'm trying to find what data I have for that. All right, I'm gonna have to go into my CSV for real, CSV, and then I just grab it. All right, so I can grab. All right, so I can grab quarterback passing or something, or so I'll grab quarterback passing. Let me copy this pass. I'm at this path. All right, so I got some better data finally, so we can start. All right, so I got some better data here. So we're gonna do for quarterback passing for the people that loves football. This would be something that you look at. And also when it comes to data and manipulating data and understanding how it works and predicting outcomes, they use pandas. They use pandas. Analytics department use pandas. So this is a good learning tool. All right. So we have finally got our data. So all right, so we'll just use this. So we'll use so you see the players, you see the yards, the teams, and all of that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it inside of a data frame. So we're gonna do df. So let me just erase this. We're gonna put it inside the data frame. So I'm gonna df equals pd dot data frame. This allows us to put it in a data frame, and so now we can start manipulating data. Now, since I got that, I'm just going to, let me make sure, let me see the name of it. So we'll do for players that have the most yards. We'll do two columns. So we'll do df dot tail, and then we'll put it inside of a list. So our list will consist of player, and we'll do yards. Who have the most yards? So we do player yards. What is it? YDS. So now since we got that, we can do PLT dot dot PLT dot bar or PLT. The dot PLT, then we can put kind, what kind of graph, and we're gonna do a bar graph right there. So we'll do a bar graph, and then we'll do PLT dot show. So we'll do a bar graph. We'll just add some color. Color equals green. So we're gonna show it. Let's see if we can show that information here. All right. So it says online says, oh, I know what I did wrong. So DLT.tell. So let's do the first 10. df.tell. Oh, so it's not giving me that. So it says data frame. Oh, my fault. So it's going to be plot right here. So we're going to plot this graph right here. df.plot, and then the kind of it we're going to create. Also, got a whole lot of yards right here. And it's based on numbers. So I see this statistical data is kind of off here. So let me see. But let me show you this graph first. So basically, let me stop sharing so you can see this graph. Hold up. All right, let me run it again. So this for the top 10. All right. So let's show this graph right here. Let me share again. All right, so it inputted the yards, but it's based off of IDs. So the tail end of the ID was supposed to be names, but if you look at the data, it says it says the number like because it have all the quarterbacks. So this is the tail end. So I put tail. This is 10. So all the quarterbacks just has how many yards they have. So we imported that data, but I'm gonna have to get some other US CSV file. All right, so let me see. Let me see if I could grab a better CSV file. Let me share my directory. I mean, my script. I want to see if I can get better CSV file here. Let me hold up. Because I'm trying to find this might be it. Passing data. This might be it right here. I might have found it. The one I was looking for. And that's gonna be it. I know this is a long video, but we're gonna make sure we have everything right. Make sure everybody is learning. All right, and we turn this to a data frame, and then now we can print. Let's print DF. Let's see what we have here. All right, so let's see what type of data we have here. All right, this one is a little better um, because we have some labels here. So what I'm gonna do here, we're gonna create a graph that show for the player and the team, which player is on which team. It should display it like that. Or no, I won't do it. Or we'll say which team had the oldest quarterback. That's what we'll do. So we're gonna do DF, and we're gonna say for yeah, we'll just do it for all. We'll need to do that, and we're gonna create a list. So inside the list, we're gonna put a category for team, team, and age. Let me make sure, and age is also capital, and age. So these going to be the category. And then we're going to put dot plot, and then the kind of plot we're gonna put it a graph. So it's gonna be a bar graph. We could do scatter. Let me see if we can do scatter. Scatter plot is it's just it's just a bunch of dots or whatever you want to put in. It's going to be inside of a graph based off of where the pinpoint X and Y is lined up with. Then we'll do plt dot show to see this one for team and age. Oh, we got an error here. Let's see what we got. So it says scatter requires X and Y column. Okay, so let's see we do bar. It might be the same thing. So bar, we do that. All right, so this one is chaotic. Let me see. All right, so this one is chaotic, but it just have the numbers right here. This is for age. I wish I had for team. I don't know why I don't just have the ID for team. Let me put player here. Maybe we put player here, we'll see the player age category. Okay, the age is here. But what it's doing when I see on the screen, I'm gonna show you in a second, it's taking the it's taking the index. That's what it's taking instead of just taking the player and the age, the index. So it'll be Brady would be one because that's with that data. So let's share the screen. Let's just share it what we have, and let me run this. It's gonna be a little chaotic once you see it, but we got some data that we grabbed here. All right, so what right here on the y-axis, these is the ages. These are the ages. So and and the number at the bottom, those are the index for each quarterback. So the first quarterback that was on that list was Brady. He's the first one, which is 0. He's all the way up. He's at 40. So you look at the bottom, it says about 44. He's 44 years old. He's the oldest right there. And they'll probably be Big Ben. So I wish it took for Tays, but this shows this this diagram shows the statistical data which quarterback is the oldest based off of Tays, but this is considered the index. But we'll show that in the next video. Just wanted to show you how we can input the data inside these graphs as well. So we'll show that on the next episode, or next episode, or the next presentation, the next video we created. But also, I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope everybody learned. Please subscribe to Trade Digital 89, like and share the content. You know how the algorithms work. And be prepared for the next episode. We're going to be diving into more of coding and more of these coding exercises. And we also be talking about technology, time traveling, and all this cool stuff. So I hope everybody enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Also dislike if you want, and hit in the comments. But I appreciate everybody. And I see you when you see you. Peace out. This is Trade Digital 89. Peace out.